Covering election 2016, the voters delivered a mixed verdict on Super Saturday to the presidential frontrunners. Donald Trump won Kentucky and Louisiana, while Ted Cruz prevailed in Maine and Kansas, leaving Marco Rubio and John Kasich well behind. On the Democratic side of the aisle, Hillary Clinton took Louisiana, but Bernie Sanders came out on top in both Nebraska and Kansas. So here to talk about the takeaways from Super Saturday as well as what's to come, Jacksonville University's Director of Public Policy Institute, Rick Mullaney. Thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning.
So were you surprised by the results?
Yes, actually. I thought it was a big night for Ted Cruz and some first chink in the armor that you're seeing for Donald Trump. He had a big lead in Kansas, or he had a lead in Kansas, and Ted Cruz won by 25 points. He had a 20-point lead at one point in Maine and lost to Ted Cruz there. He had double-digit leads in Louisiana and Kentucky and only won by 4 points. And some polling yesterday suggests Kasich may actually be leading in Michigan. This all suggests that the negative attacks, the Never Trump, the indictment by Governor Romney in his speech, the debates are maybe taking a toll. He's still dominant. He's still the odds-on favorite. But yesterday may represent a real shift in this process.
On the Democratic side, Bernie came out with 2 states. You know, really, he's been kind of catching up a little bit. I mean, is this going to continue, and what does it mean for Hillary Clinton?
He keeps hanging around. He won in Nebraska. He won in Maine. He does well. We're predominantly white with that demographic makeup with caucuses. However, Hillary Clinton still had more delegates because she won in Louisiana and by such a big margin. The challenge for Bernie Sanders is to win in bigger states that are more diverse demographically, and that's his challenge. This does not really change the trajectory of the race, really. Hillary Clinton is on her way to the nomination. However, he keeps hanging around, and it's delaying Hillary Clinton from turning to the general election. Tonight will be a big debate in Flint, and of course, Tuesday, Michigan primary.
That's what I was going to say. How much of an impact, I mean, we've had debate after debate, and not that I don't love them, I do, but how much of an influence do they really have at this point over swaying voters?
Well, tonight might be significant because it's in Flint, Michigan, and the Michigan primary is Tuesday. And so Bernie Sanders will be trying very hard to do well in a bigger state that's more geographically diverse. Clearly, Hillary Clinton has the advantage when it comes to the African-American vote, the more diverse population. So he will have his attacks. He'll go out, he'll talk about Wall Street. He'll talk about the transcripts. He'll talk about super PACs. He'll make an appeal to the people of Flint. So hard to measure those impacts, but for Bernie Sanders, he'll be all in tonight trying to sway them for Tuesday.
And back on the Republican side, you know, obviously we still have more candidates on the Republican side. Rubio, I know Florida is going to mean a lot to him, as well as John Kasich with Ohio. If they do not win those states, what happens? Because that's their home state. So.
Yesterday was a very bad day for Marco Rubio, and he needs to win Puerto Rico today. He needs to have the debate of a lifetime this week, and he absolutely has to win Florida come a week from Tuesday. If he does not, there really isn't a path to 1237. Even now, with Florida, there's a narrow path to 1237, which is the number you need for the nomination. John Kasich has admitted that even winning Ohio, his pathway to the nomination would have to be through a contested convention. So for Marco Rubio and for John Kasich, very narrow pathway. They have to win their home states to be competitive. It does appear that there is a movement out there, however, to simply try to deny Donald Trump the 1237 needed for the nomination to make it a contested convention. And Kasich and Rubio could play a very big role in that.
The most recent debate with the Republicans, I watched a little bit of it. I was sick this week, so I couldn't stay up for the whole time. But you know, things were very heated, and it just, I'm wondering if that's also having a negative impact on the candidates, really.
Well, for Marco Rubio, what has happened is, it often happens, is the person who does the attacking, particularly when he went to the insulting piece of this, he has seen that has had an effect on Donald Trump, but the votes appear to have gone to Ted Cruz. Yeah. The last 3 Republican debates, quite frankly, I believe have been beneath the dignity of what the public should expect. A lot of shouting, a lot of yelling, a lot of name-calling. And you've seen that consistently in the last 3 debates, talking over each other. But I do think the cumulative effect of the attacks, as well as the Fox questions, which were very pointed towards Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Megyn Kelly showing 3 videos that shows him flip-flopping on 3 substantial issues. Chris Wallace showing a chart that shows that his spending cuts may not...
Oh, the numbers were like, yeah.
Oh, they were
targeting him for sure.
They were tough questions, and they weren't letting him get away with the vague answers. I do think the cumulative effect is starting to show up somewhat.
Well, thank you so much for your perspective. As always, we appreciate you coming on, and there's a lot more to come. So keep up to date. News4Jax.com. We have a whole section, politics is what it's under. It's under news, politics, and you can find all sorts of information on early voting as well as detailed articles on each candidate.